In a world where pixels meet passion, where lag is the enemy, and victory is fueled by questionable decision-making, three legends rise from the depths of digital depravity, armed only with their wits, their mics, and an irresponsibly high alcohol tolerance. Meet your hosts, the men, the myths, the mildly functional degenerates. Nickelodeon.
Let's go!
The leader, the host, the man who once rage quit so hard, his router called 911.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hold fast.
Let's go, boys.
The wild card, the agent of chaos. He's got an M4 in one hand and a bottle of something highly flammable in the other.
Bourbon?
Rump
Giggity.
thump.
Giggity.
Rump thump. The strategist, the enforcer, the guy who still insists it's not camping, it's tactical positioning.
Quit your bitching, dude.
Together, they bring you High Proof Lounge, the podcast where gaming and absolutely zero responsible decision-making collide in a glorious dumpster fire of entertainment. Grab a drink, turn your volume up, and for the love of all things holy, somebody mute Nick before the team kills us again.
Welcome, everyone, to the very first episode of the High Proof Lounge, the official podcast of High Proof Gaming. I'm Nick, also known in the gaming world as Nickelodeon Gun, and I'll be your host. This is where gaming, laughter, and good conversation come together. And trust me, we've got plenty of all three for you today. For our premiere episode, we thought we'd take it back to basics, give you a chance to meet the crew behind High Proof Gaming. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and get ready to learn who we are, what we're about, and how this whole thing got started. So a few years ago, obviously, I've been playing for as long as I can remember. PlayStations, Nintendo 64, Game Boys, Xbox. My story is extremely long, and I'll keep it short. You know, a few years ago, I used to weigh over 650 pounds. I've said this a lot. I preach about it on my TikTok. I was extremely overweight, had nothing to do. I had lymphedema head to toe, couldn't walk. I was on oxygen. I was couch-bound for 6 months and got bored and needed something to do. And my parents bought me an Xbox, and that's what I did. I played all of Grand Theft Auto 5 and just dabbled on Xbox games throughout that, and then stumbled a little game called Call of Duty, DMZ, Season 1. 1 week in, I started, and fell in love with the game, fell in love with the mode, and had a blast, and met two of my very best friends, Holdfast 36 and Rump Thump 90, and we just built this great community called High Proof Gaming, and it connected us, and from that we've just kind of grown. We're on social media. We have a YouTube, a TikTok, and a great community with over 120 members, and it's still growing to this day. And one day we woke up and had an idea to start a podcast because we have a lot of things to say and nowhere to put them. And so this is going to be our outlet for all things gaming. Hopefully we'll be able to bring some other people in, but we just really wanted to create an outlet where people could connect, hear everything that has to do with gaming, and just kind of go from there. But enough about me. I'm gonna introduce you to the squad. First up, we have our tactical genius, the one and only Holdfast 36. Holdfast, let the people know who you are.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Holdfast, aka Hold, your resident strategy guy. I've been playing games for probably over 20 years at this point. Been into everything from shooters, RPGs, to single-player games. Recently, it's been a lot of Delta Force and trying to get into some gray zone warfare again. I'm always the guy who's trying to keep plans 2 steps ahead, even if it doesn't always work out. I've been gaming for as long as I can remember, and I'm here to keep things grounded and maybe carry these guys for a match or two.
Oh, that's funny. Mm-hmm. And last but definitely not least, we've got the button mashing king himself, Rump Thump. Rump, it's your turn to take the stage.
Of course, thanks, Nick. Hey, everyone, I'm Rump. I'm the guy that's all about having a good time, keeping it lighthearted. I've been gaming for over 25 years, started off as a kid, all the way back from PlayStation and on. It's been a huge part of my life. I love diving into different genres. My favorites, RPGs, tactical shooters, open world adventures. some of my current go-tos right now. We even hold mention Gray Zone Warfare, Delta Force, and Assassin's Creed. Whether it comes into going up into co-op, going all in on PvP, or just exploring some of the immersive worlds and some of the games that we've been playing, I'm always up for a challenge. Gaming isn't just a hobby for me, it's a way to connect, unwind, and sometimes rage a little when things don't go my way, but hey, that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, abso-freaking-lutely. Awesome introductions, everyone. Now that you've met the squad, let's dive into how this whole thing started. Rump, why don't you kick us off with how High Proof Gaming came to be?
High Proof Gaming came back when I originally started a Discord a few years ago, back when DMZ came out, building a community where we could all gather, talk games, share experiences, and just have a good time. As times pass, obviously the group you all know today turned into High Proof Gaming. It's always fun also just to see how mad I can make Nick during a match or two.
Yeah, well, it's lovely. Thanks for that.
He
Let's
never
also
gets mad.
Yeah, never. Let's also not forget to mention that I was comms banned for like 800 days during
The comms
DMZ.
ban.
That was
That was a fun
absolutely.
time.
It was not a fun time because I couldn't hear anybody and they couldn't hear me, and it was like impossible playing a game like that. And we're going to talk about that, guys. We're going to talk about Activision. We're going to talk about Team Jade, who helped develop Delta Force, Madfinger Games, who also developed Gray Zone Warfare. We're going to dive into this. We're going to dive into rumors. We're going to dive into everything that has to do with gaming, whether it, like Activision, where it's headed, where it's going, Gray Zone Warfare, the progression of that, and how amazing Madfinger Games just rose up from all of that, being almost bankrupt. We're going to go into a lot of that. Hold, you're kind of the wild card of the group. What drew you to High Proof Gaming?
Oh, that's a quite funny story, actually. I got roped in through an older mutual friend, showed up for a few game nights, and next thing I knew, I was logging in regularly, playing with you guys. It's always been amazing to see how this has grown. We've got over 120 something members in the Discord, and we've got the three of us as admins. It's just moving right along like a well-oiled machine.
It is. And we've gone through ebbs and flows, and we've just the fact that we have over 100 people that want to be a part of a community where it's community based. I think that's like the biggest goal for us, is to build a great community where you can literally be in any game and be like, I don't have anyone to play with, so let me just make a post in our Delta Force or Call of Duty or Gray Zone Warfare chat, see if anyone wants to play. If someone's on, they can just pop in with you, so you actually have people to connect with and like interact with. It's amazing. I love the fact that we have a community built. So as you guys can probably tell, we are a group that loves gaming, storytelling, and just having a good time. Like I said, with this podcast, we want to bring you into our world. We're going to talk about gaming news, share hilarious stories, debate hot topics, and again, maybe even invite some guests from the community to join us. We have sent out invites. We've heard back from them, and hopefully they will be on within the next couple of episodes. It should be a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice mix of everything that we love and what you guys love, gaming, community, and a whole bunch of chaos maybe. Basically, it's just going to feel like you're hanging out with your friends after a nice long day with a drink, maybe some humor, some talking. It's
A drink?
Good time.
A drink?
No.
A drink?
Never.
Where's the bourbon?
Where's the bourbon?
Yeah, don't get us started on that portion. Way back in the day when it was margaritas. Nick knows all about that.
No, I don't want to ever live that over again. I cannot tell you guys, literally, the one night he decides to drink, we're in DMZ, and I think it was still being supported. I don't remember. And he was like, I'm going to drink some margaritas. And we were in Ashika. You know how Ashika is on DMZ. It's where you either go to.
I hate that map so much.
I do too. It's so small, and the fog drives me insane. But the fact that it is so small,
add margarita and fog, super insane.
Margarita and fog, dude.
I talked so much trash during that match.
He did. He was literally running into grenades. He thought it was hilarious. He was like diving into grenades,
like Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah. He'd catch a grenade for anybody at that point. It was legitimately hilarious, but at the same time, he was like, "Why am I dead?" I'm like, "Because you keep running into grenades, dipshit."
So, guys, whether you're a casual player, a hardcore competitor, or just here for the banter, welcome to High Proof Lounge. Stay tuned for more gaming talks, stories, and maybe even some wild in-game moments.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, guys, we're going to wrap things up. Any final thoughts before we sign off on our very first episode of High Proof Lounge?
Yeah, I remember the days when Nick, you came a long
God,
way
here we
through
go.
those DMZ matches.
Shut up!
Remember Nick when he used to ignore me for 3 months?
I did not know you. Listen, our old mutual friend who unfortunately we're not associated with anymore.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. There was a lot of like bringing people in that I didn't really want to play with and didn't agree with, and they played
Apparently, I
differently.
was one of those people.
And apparently, you might have been one of those people, but
That
at
makes
that
sense.
time,
He played
That was
with you
weird.
enough. He played with you enough that I had to be left out of the 3-man group, and I had to go
He
play
did.
something
that's
else.
True. That's
he
true.
did. But at that time too, I wasn't streaming. I was not. I wasn't doing anything on YouTube. I wasn't doing anything on
Wasn't
TikTok.
even recording, right?
I was not recording. It was just straight up gameplay. And I
Yeah.
was through, of course I was recovering from being over 650 pounds. I would like to mention too that I've lost almost 300 pounds. And so we're getting there. It's one day at a time. But I had like literally the last major cleanup when I played DMZ last, I think I had over 250 friends on there. It was just insane. And I would get invite after invite after invite. It was like literally overwhelming. And I'm not saying like I was like popular, like I'm not the best player. I will be the first to tell you that. This whole gaming thing, this whole gaming world, I always used to mock and make fun of because I thought it was stupid and pointless. But then when I became couchbound, I was like, oh God, like I have nothing to do. And I dived into it and realized it like reignited a love for gaming again. Like when I was a kid and loved gaming, that's kind of how it feels now. I love experiencing new games. I love playing Gray Zone and Delta, and I as much as I would love to say I love COD, we'll talk about that on a different episode, but it's amazing. I've met so many different people and became best friends with the two of you. So it's the best thing that could have ever came out from that. But we're going to wrap things.
I'm happy for the fact that you advanced in your computer
Where
layout.
are you going with this?
For sure.
Where are you going?
I remember the days when you were playing on that gaming laptop, quote unquote.
Laptop.
Dude,
I remember
it was
how that went.
brutal. It's so
Thing was
brutal.
like overheating like crazy. Like it was the middle of
Crashing out of
Florida and-
matches, collecting
Yeah.
your gear to try to help you out.
God, I feel so loved. No, I'm forever grateful to be able to have a computer that actually supports the games that we play. And yes, I always started on controller. From day one, I was always a controller player, and never in a million years did I ever think that I would be able to switch from controller to keyboard and mouse. And I'll tell you this too, like not an easy switch at all. It was so foreign to me, but when we discovered that Gray Zone Warfare was launching and it was a big hype, it forced me to have to play something different because my friends, the people that I enjoyed playing with every day, were switching, and they were all, keyboard and mouse. It was a transition that I was not excited to do, and it took time, and now I'm running all over DMZ with keyboard and mouse, when I play it. So it's been a journey for sure, and it's something that has been way more fulfilling. Especially shooting or aiming and shooting with keyboard and mouse, actually being able to like point directly at what you want to
it's
shoot
like better
at.
accuracy.
It's way
It's more,
better.
more precise than
I think
Man,
you
I
get,
couldn't even
thumbstick.
tell you on those factors. I even tried switching to controller, and I can't. I couldn't even
No.
adjust my stuff to aim and move
Oh, yeah.
efficiently.
I think Nick and
Nowhere
I did a DMZ game like
we did.
what was it, months ago?
It was like 5
I
months
tried
ago.
to use an Xbox Elite controller and it was just
So
like
did I,
complete
dude.
ass.
I couldn't do it
It was
anymore.
so bad.
I could not. I'm like,
My accuracy was all over the place. I was shooting like super high, super low, off to the right, off to the left.
yeah, it was
DMZ
brutal.
bots were like, haha, you suck.
Yeah, it was brutal for sure. Yeah, it was definitely more fulfilling. And everybody that always asks me too, like, because I typically stream about 5 to 7 days a week on TikTok, primarily streaming DMZ content because that's what's getting views. And eventually that will stop. I will probably switch to full-time streaming. Delta Force, exactly.
Delta Force.
But yeah, just switching from like controller to keyboard and mouse, and then listening to my chat say and ask like how can you play on keyboard and mouse? I could never in a million years. Biggest advice I can give to anybody from somebody coming from somebody that strictly only played on controller, you have to do it.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, I'm not some rich Joe Schmo over here. I do not make millions of dollars. I do own my own company. I just launched it late last year. I am not rolling in dough. I have a Red Dragon mouse with the 12 buttons on the side. I have a NPET keyboard, very nice keyboard, but we're talking basic stuff, all under $100. You do not need to spend $1 million to have keyboard and mouse. That's the second question that I always get asked when I stream.
Yeah, you could buy a keyboard and a mouse for like half the price as an Xbox controller.
Let me tell you this: when I first switched,
keyboard's multiple times of a controller.
Well, yeah, so is mine, but like to start off, it's
when I first
like
started
nothing.
playing on keyboard and mouse, my mouse was a Memorex mouse, a wireless Memorex mouse. This is your
I think
basic
they're out of
like
business now, right?
they probably are.
Dude,
This is
you
like
want to
your-
talk about playing on some basic like hardware? Back when I originally started playing Delta Force Black Hawk Down, the original online, playing with a Dell keyboard and a Dell rollball mouse.
Yeah. I
Eventually
have that
moving
shit
up
at
to
work.
that laser
Oh.
mouse.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
some interesting times.
Yeah, so you don't need to break the bank to start out on keyboard and mouse. You just need to get yourself an affordable set, something that fits your budget, and just stick with it. And even if you're on Xbox and it's something that you're thinking about doing, like if you're thinking about switching to the computer or just staying on keyboard and mouse, you can still get a decent wireless keyboard and mouse, and plug it into your Xbox and still have that same experience. But again, you just got to stick with it. Well, that wraps up our first episode of the High Proof Lounge. We hope you enjoyed getting to know us and our journey so far. If you liked what you heard, make sure you subscribe and follow us on social media for updates on future episodes. Guys, we are on TikTok, we are on Facebook, and we are on YouTube. Make sure if you're listening to this, go hit the follow button, go hit the subscribe button. Show me some love on TikTok. I stream again 5 to 7 days a week. Holdfast36 is also on TikTok. RumpThump90 is also on TikTok. All three of us are on individually, and then we have High Proof Gaming, just an amazing community. We try to keep the chats very active. We're boosted. We're going to be coming up with events eventually very soon, but one thing at a time, and we'll get there. So thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, keep your drinks high and your games strong. We'll see you on the next one.